I lost track of how many interviews I already did today, but you're my next guest. What's your name and what brings you to JFO?
I'm Simon Martinelli. I'm from Switzerland, and I will have a talk. It's called "Do you really need Hibernate?" And I will answer the question if you really need Hibernate, or if there are some alternatives that may be a better fit for your application.
And can you maybe already spoil a bit of the answer?
Yeah, the point is there is a law. It's called Bedridge's Law, I think. It's from a journalist from England, and he says if the title is a question, then the answer is always no.
No. So you don't need Hibernate.
You don't need Hibernate. Yeah.
What's a better option?
Yeah, it depends on the application type, but
It depends.
it
That's
depends. It depends. It depends. So now the option is learn SQL properly, and then you can do a lot of that in the database already. So you don't need to load data and transform it first, because the database already can do that. That's one thing. And the other thing, the database has a lot of features to offer that are hidden behind an OR mapper, for example. And I know it often people try to abstract the database layer because they want to change the database later, but no one does,
Yeah.
more or less.
Are we a bit spoiled as developer with a framework like Hibernate that we don't need to learn SQL?
Yeah, probably. The point is also how young developers learn it. For example, I'm also teaching at the university in Switzerland, and we're teaching Spring Boot. So what do? We start with services, then later on we use repositories, and we don't see even the database.
You
If we
don't see.
don't turn
Yeah.
on the SQL logging, we don't even see that SQL is executed by the code. And that's maybe the problem. We
Yeah.
think, and when I learned Java like 25 years ago, um, people also tend to, we want to stay in objects. We don't care about the persistent layer, it's just an implementation detail. But for most applications I'm involved, this is not an implementation detail because that's the purpose of the
Yeah,
application
yeah.
to store data in the database, right?
So we should learn SQL a bit more.
Yeah. And I mean, for Java developers, it became easier with the invention of Java Streams API in Java 8. Because before we tend to do like imperative style of programming, like for loops and while loops, and now we also have to do it declaratively. So it's a relatively easy step from something like stream, filter, map, collect to something like select from,
Yeah.
into, whatever.
Yeah, okay. I know that Hibernate and database is only one of your big interests. Vaden is another one. Uh, is there some Vaden content today? I don't think
No,
so.
no. I will show an application because I'm in a sports club in Switzerland, and we are organizing competitions for kids already for, I would say, 45 years or so. And in the beginning, we did that by hand, or they did that by hand. So there are like tables where you can look, oh, he did like 3 meters long jump, and you can get the points, and you have to calculate the points. And when I started as a software engineer, I thought, oh, that's not a good idea. We should do that with some software.
Yeah, automate it, make it
Automate it.
easier. Yeah.
And I did that in 1997. And now I migrated the application like 4 years ago to Vadin. And this is my showcase project because there I can use the superpower of Juke, for example. It's called multiset. I can fetch nested structures with one single query. And I use that because in a competition management software, you need ranking lists. And ranking lists are a tree, so you need to read tree-like data. And that's perfect. So you see some Vadin, but I will not talk about Vadin.
Yeah, okay. That's a bit the same thing that happened to me. I was working on a pet project beside my job, and that became my job. And I was writing about open source libraries, so I'm now doing that even more. Is that a bit the same thing that happened with you? You were interested in these technologies,
Yeah,
and now you're doing consultancy on these topics?
that's exactly the point. So as I said, I started with a small pet project, 1997, and currently it's the fourth generation. So I constantly change it, and very often, if I'm in a more or less boring project, I need to do something new.
Yeah.
And so I can take this project and transform it to some new technology. That's exactly what I did with Vadin. So I learned some more Vadin with this small pet project, because there I can do whatever I want and how I want to do it. And this works very well, yeah.
And how do you pick up these new technologies? Is that at a conference like this one today?
It's very often at conferences, yes, but I also read magazines, like most of them are German, Java Spectrum or Java Magazine. You are also an author there. I write for Java Spectrum sometimes. I'm organizing Java User Group in Bern, in Switzerland. And so there we have speakers from all over. Some of them, we prefer to have also speakers from our local community. But as you may know, that's very hard to get them out of their comfort zone to talk about what they're doing in their daily job. But this gives a lot of inspiration, indeed.
That's a nice topic. How do you inspire people to become a speaker? Being at a conference like this is really great, but it's a growing part. People can speak at JUX, but how do you convince them to try it, to do it for the first time?
I was working for Swiss Railways for 13 years. And there we have had an internal software conference for Java. We still have that. It will take place in 2 weeks. And I'm every year invited as a honorary speakers, because I founded that conference also. And I always try to pick talks from there and bring it to the Java user group. And some really like that because they didn't even knew that they have the opportunity. Because sometimes I think Swiss Java user group is very professional, and we have great speakers, so with a lot of experience. And if you're sitting in the audience and watching such a talk, it may scare you a bit, right? Because he does everything perfect, and you think, oh, but my talk is not relevant, but that's not the case. And so I always try, even if I work for customers, because I'm a consultant in Switzerland, I try to convince software developers that they should come to Java user group and have a talk about something that they're working on currently.
Yeah, if people are interested to becoming a speaker, they should really just try it and contact the JUC. I think that NL JUC is even organizing some boot camps to become a speaker. So we always welcome new speakers. That's the main message. Okay.
Yes, we do the same.
Okay, thanks a lot for this talk. Thanks a lot for joining the podcast. Have fun today.
Yeah.
And good luck with the session.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.